What up, y'all? What's up? Um, I was trying not to make this in color. I was trying to go in black and white. I know it's a little dark in here, but y'all can still see what I'm saying. I'm a little laid up right now. Got an injury going on, little foot problem. But I'll be back up and around shortly. But I just wanted to come on and talk about a couple of things. First of all, I want to give some heartfelt thoughts and prayers to the people of Puerto Rico, Florida, is probably still recovering, Texas, and of course, we all know about the recent tragedy that just transpired in Las Vegas. I want to give my heartfelt prayers to those towns and communities, and my condolences to any families that may be suffering from loss at this time. I just want to take a few moments, if I can, to talk about uh, Mr. President there, Mr. Donald J. Trump. And at this point, I'm convinced that the J stands for jerk. Um, I'm gonna admit this year, this election, I'm kind of ashamed to say that I did not vote, and I think it's the same thing with a lot of people. We didn't vote because we felt like it was kind of like the lesser of two evils. You know, Hillary, up and down. You know, untruthful about some things. Mm, Donald Trump, I mean, no need to say a whole lot. Donald Trump is Donald Trump. He's who he is, and he is who he has been. But if I could go back, I could honestly say that I should have at least went to the polls and voted for Hillary, just based on experience. You know, being Secretary of State, being a U.S. Senator, whatever. She has the political background that she could have at least been our commander or commandress or desk in chief, if there's a proper word for a female president. But anyway, um, when I just look at things that happened over the past few months, it's, whether it's Charlottesville, when he tried to equate the neo-Nazis with people who are protesting against neo-Nazis. I mean, when Donald Trump was elected, I was one of the few, as far as being in my peers and, in my group of friends, family, whatever. I was one to say, okay, the election's over, he won, let's see what this guy's gonna do. Let's give him a chance. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt and let's see what he's gonna do. Um, you know, what can you say about this guy? From what I see from him since he's been in office, I've seen bigotry, I've seen divisiveness in the people, whether you're black, white, Mexican, gay, straight, whatever. It, the country just seems to be in such uproar since this man has taken office, and he's definitely, if he's not single-handedly responsible for the bigotry, he has definitely fanned the flames and given these bigots, let's so to speak, confidence or nerve or gall to come out in public and act like bigots, carrying around torches, throwing up Nazi signs and flags, and all this bigoted hatred activity that's going on. But what I really wanted to talk about this evening was the comments I heard today about Puerto Rico. He's made a comment today about Puerto Rico has affected the budget. We've spent a lot of money in Puerto Rico. Now, as I'm sitting back listening to this idiot, I'm thinking to myself, okay, how can you put a price tag on people's lives? It's almost like either A, he doesn't think before he talks, or B, he's just that fucking stupid. He just can't help it. He's that stupid. Because it's like when he opens his mouth, the dumbest shit comes out. You sit here and say, we've spent a lot of money. Like, that's the last thing that should be coming out of your mouth when it comes to, people are in turmoil, people are in crisis, people are dying, people are underneath water, people lost their homes, kids, people don't know where their relatives, friends, loved ones are. Like, this guy is just, he never ceases to amaze me on a daily basis. Every day he's in the news. every day. It's like enough for this guy already. 9, 10 months in, like enough for this guy already. Then he's constantly comparing himself to his predecessors, whether it's Obama. He has an obsession with Obama. I mean, Obama, you might as well just cut your dick off and let Donald Trump swing from your waist, because he's in your pants. He's on your jock, for real. And, it's like Obama's not in office anymore. Bush isn't in office anymore. You're the guy. Everything's on your watch now. But, even with him being in office, what the hell? It's like kind of like a kid fresh out of high school who's never drove a tractor trailer before, never driven a forklift, or never even, like, shouldn't there be some kind of level of experience before you take a job? This guy is the president of the United States. Who can honestly say he has the experience to do a job like that? And I mean, even his supporters, if you supported this guy, by now you have to see and realize this guy, something is wrong with him. This guy, he's just an idiot. Then he goes fall off to, blame people and anything to take the blame off of himself. But on the flip side of the coin, he loves to take the blame off of himself, but he loves to keep the attention on himself. And, the comments he made today about the budget, and then he goes back to comparing, and this was the part that I just thought was that, stupidity, idiocracy is a pre-existing condition for Donald Jerk Trump. Because for him to compare the deaths of Hurricane Katrina to the deaths of the storm that just hit Puerto Rico is completely asinine. He sits on television, oh, well, the Katrina deaths were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, and Puerto Rico was at 17, and, we're proud of that. And you fucking imbecile. Katrina did not happen yesterday, last week, last month. Katrina happened in 2006. 2005. So that's already done. The death toll is accounted for. The storm in Puerto Rico just happened. So, granted, the number may be at 16, 17 now, but you still have people lost. You still have people unaccounted for. So that number is going to rise. But it's a shame that this fucking idiot doesn't even have the common sense to know that. It's sad, America as a country, that this is the guy that we have to lead us. It's really fucking scary, because this guy is as smart as a bag of fucking boulders. He is dumb. Like, he's dumb. All the way down to when he reads his speeches. It's like he's reading directly off the dummy cards. He has no compassion, no empathy. Things that he has said. I'm 44 years old, so I've seen quite a few presidents. And before Trump, obviously we had Obama, which was our first African-American president. And whether you be black, white, Chinese, gay, straight, whatever you are, race, gender, whatever, you cannot disagree with me that some of the stuff that has came out of Donald Trump's mouth, if that stuff would have came out of Obama's mouth, they would have been trying to impeach him, get him out of there. He's no good. He's this. Donald Trump gets away with it all. And, and then we nobody wants to talk about race, but I mean, it is what it is. Because, even the whole Charlottesville thing, to, not to condemn racism. He can be more passionate about football players kneeling, and he can so freely call football players sons of bitches, referring to their moms, mind you, as female dogs, because bitch is defined as female dog. So he can be that he can be that passionate, and he can be that angry and upset over football players kneeling peacefully, mind you, peacefully. He can be that upset over that, but he can't bring himself to call out neo-Nazis. There's no passion. They're very good people on both sides. No. There's no such thing as... I have friends. I have black friends. I have white friends. I have Hispanic friends. I have friends. If I love you, you love me, we're friends. Have a no bigoted bone in my entire fat body. There's no bones, not a one bigoted bone wrapped in all this fat. But to try to make people think that there's good in neo-Nazis, like, and to try to make it seem like he never heard of David Duke, like, this guy is so full of shit. And it's sad that we as a country, this is what we have come to. And me personally, I think that America, well, a lot of America was so upset that we had an African American president, and Donald Trump's campaign was fueled by a lot of bigotry, fueled by a lot of, sexism. And, I'm not speaking anything dishonest. It's the truth. If you watch his campaign, he talked about, he even mocked the handicapped person. Like, and granted, parents should be role models. And yes, we should. I like to be a role model to my kids. But every child and some adults, you're gonna look at the president of the United States as a role model. This is the guy that stands up for us. This is the guy that represents the United States of America. He sits in the most powerful seat in the world. Not in the country, in the world. This is where that fat fuck sits. And, if I incriminate myself by insulting him, I'm exercising my right of freedom of speech. And, I wasn't a George W. Bush supporter. I wasn't a fan of his. I didn't vote for him. I thought he did a lot of things wrong. But one thing I will say, the guy was presidential. He spoke like a president. He acted like a president. He conducted himself with dignity and class. And if you're going to be sitting in that seat, that's what you have to do. And, I just fear of what's going to happen going forward with our country. And because this is not the guy for that job. I'm sorry. He's just not. And like I said, if I could erase the time and go back and turn back the hands, I would have voted for Hillary Clinton, just based on the fact that she has some kind of political background, some political experience, and I'm pretty sure she would have been more compassionate, specifically to people in Puerto Rico, because, it's almost kind of like they're being treated as if they're not part of the United States. They're on an island, and no, they are Puerto Rican Americans. And, my heart bleeds for them. My heart goes out to them because, like I said, I have Hispanic friends. And when I think about some of my Hispanic friends that I've met over the years, I'm not stroking them right now, or I'm not trying to extend extra sympathy because of what they're going through right now. But I can say that Hispanic Puerto Rican people are some of the best people that I've come across in my entire life. They've always been nice. They've always been generous. They'll feed you. They'll let you drink up all their liquor. They'll let you sleep on their couch. They'll build you a car from scratch if you need it. You could drop off an alternator to your best friend's house. If people Puerto Rican, you show up 2 days later, he'll have your car ready to go. And, I'm just trying to add a little humor to a situation that's really sad, and my heart really goes out to them. And like I said at the top of this video, Texas, Florida, Nevada, that actually happened the other night when I was in the emergency room, and I'm watching it, and I'm just looking at what's going on around the world, and it's really, really sad. And if we don't get anything else out of what's going on right now, hopefully we can come together as a people, as one race, not black, not white, not Puerto Rican, but as a human race, because these are some trying times that we're living in right now, and we have to really be there for each other, and we have to really stand firm, especially with an imbecile that we have in the White House right now. I've never ever put my mouth on any president. Like I said, I didn't vote for Ronald Reagan. I didn't vote for George W. Bush. I didn't vote for George Bush Sr. Okay, I'm Democrat. But I've never ever seen these guys act unprofessional or unpresidential, so to speak. I've never seen that. they've always conducted themselves. And even with Katrina, George Bush was, people, criticized him for the delay of him getting there, whatever, but he got there, he acted presidential. He never talked about, oh, well, we spent money. It's not about how much money you spent, because technically it didn't come out of your pocket, and you're going to make sure it didn't come out of your pocket, Trump. You're the same guy who won't even show your fucking tax returns. But when it comes to life and death, there's no price tag that you can put on that. That's the last thing that should have been coming out of his mouth. But again, I'm convinced the guy can't help it. Yes, he's that fucking stupid.